I'm fine with it. Alrighty, number 1. Product property says you add exponents, so this is just x to the 2 plus 3, x to the 5th. So then when I go to number 2, same concept with fractions. Don't get intimidated by the fractions. Just add them. Product property means add the fractions. 1/2 plus 3 over 2 would be 4 over 2, which would be x squared. Very good. Number 3, this is the power property, an exponent raised to another exponent. It's different because you don't see the base repeated. It's just exponent to an exponent. So of course it has a different operation. It's not adding this time. We're multiplying the exponents to get x to the 6. I'm just going to do this row, and then I'm going to pause and let you guys try the fractions. I'm going to pause again. All right, number 5. Both the x squared and the y are being raised to the power of 3. So the x squared, the 2 will get multiplied, just like the power property in the previous problem. So that's 2 times 3. The y, technically, there's an invisible 1 here. So that would be y to the 1st times 3. So that answers x to the 6, y to the 3rd. And that's possible because there's no plus or minus signs in there. If there was plus or minus signs in there, it would be more complicated. Number 7, the quotient property says that we subtract top to bottom. And that one is x squared. So I'm just going to pause momentarily and let you catch up and do the other ones. Yep. I don't really know that. But then I didn't even notice the last period. I was like, oh, and we have variables and numbers. They're just mixed in. The left side is another observation. The left side is variables and the right side is numbers. You really need to be able to do them with both. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Look in chapter 5.1. Then you would have to use some other trickery. You couldn't just subtract. Oh, no. You mean like in number 2? You need to get a common denominator. It's just more difficult. But... And you can use your calculator if you want. All right, so we're going to do 5 over 2 times 2 over 1. And that's going to be 3 to the 10 over 2, which is 3 to the 5th power, which you can go ahead and multiply out or just leave 3 to the 5th. And then number 6, there's several correct ways to go about it. You can multiply 16 times 9 to start, but it's supposed to be kind of practicing this idea that both the 16 and the 9 would get the power of 1/2, but you could do it either way. So I'm going to do this as 16 to the 1/2 times 9 to the 1/2 because I want to practice radical form. So I'm going to convert these to radicals and make this the square root of 16 times the square root of 9, which is 4 times 3, which is 12. 5.1. 4 times 3, which is 12. 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 4 Yeah, but you took a book. Yeah, I don't know. We did rip out new sheet. But I'm out. I think people took them that shouldn't have. Yeah. Well, there's those type problems on the exam. All right, now I'll do 4 to the 5 over 2 minus 1/2, which is 4 to the 4 over 2, which is 4 squared. And you can leave it 4 squared or make it 16, either way. Surprise, 2 more. All right, rewrite as a radical. Kenny, you might want to watch this. I'm going to turn this into a radical. This is a rational exponent. Can you see it? The denominator of the exponent goes down and around and it becomes the index. And then the 4 stays an exponent. So this is written as the 7th root of -5 raised to the 4th power. Now this is our first time going the other way. Starting with the radical and putting this 3 back into the exponent. So I'm going to write it as a denominator and get rid of the radical bar. And this is actually the same as the x to the 2/3. All right, I'd like you guys to open up the assignment from yesterday. I saw that lots of you did not submit, and I was kind of questioning that. And then a student reminded me that 10th graders have an assembly. Is that true? It was yesterday. So open that assignment up, and I'll take questions right now, and you can submit after. 10th graders. And my goal is, as you're submitting assignments online, is that you're writing down the ones that you're not sure about so we can go over it still. I don't want you to feel like, oh, I did it online, I'm done, when you probably just guessed and checked some of them. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See how much lower 4th period is from the other classes? That's not scores, that's just completion. That's how many people have submitted it. So you're excused because of the assembly. Let's get to work on it. Okay, who wants to ask a question about one of these? Which one should we go over? Are you able to open it? Do you have it open in front of you? Okay, still loading. Liam, how many did you complete? No, 5.1 part 2. Would you want to do some right now, maybe? Peyton, which one do you want to go over? Peyton, which one do you want to go over? Exactly, so pick a problem to do. Am I confused? Let me just chill for a minute. At 10:37, I'll take questions. So try a few right now if you didn't do it. And then I'll take questions in a few more minutes. Give you some time to open it up, and it's I know. I need someone to go to the media center and get some more books. Did you do the assignment, Jaden? Okay, Allington gets to go. She already finished it. Yeah. What time is it? Oh, there's a clock up there. I got it. 10:34. Yes. How about you?
Does she know how many you need?
Just like 5. All right, Leo. Which one should I do? Pick a number 1 through 10. Let's do 9. All right, the first thing I want to note as I solve for x in number 9 is that it does have an even degree. Which means there's possibly 2 real solutions. So I want to keep that in mind right away. If it had been a 3rd degree or a 5th degree, 1 solution. An even degree means possibly 2. So I want to deal with the fraction first, and I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal on both sides. And I get x to the 4th equals 81. And now to cancel out the power of 4, I will do a 4th root on both sides because the root of 4, the 4th root and the power of 4 are perfect inverses. They cancel each other out. So cancel, cancel. And now I have to remember that I'm using a plus or minus sign when I do a fourth root. And then I have to think about I'm not square rooting 81, I'm fourth rooting 81. Up here there's a list of 3 to the 4th, 2 to the 4th, and 3 to the 4th is 81. So this is plus and minus 3. Number 9, 2 answers, positive and negative 3. Which one should we do next? Anybody? Anybody? Yeah. Let's go back and do 8. All right, let's try 8. We'll have to use a calculator here. I see the answers are decimals. I'm going to go ahead and make a note that this is an odd power. So I'm going to have one solution. I want to isolate the base to start. So I'm going to subtract 40 before I do anything else. And that's going to be x to the third equals negative 15. And now I'll do the third root to cancel out the power of 3. Cancel, cancel. And x is approximately the third root of negative 15. So everybody try it in your calculator. How are you doing with your roots? Don't square root it, cube root it. And because I'm rounding a decimal, I switched from a straight equal sign to a squiggle. Negative 2.47. Okay, which one should we do next? We haven't done any with parentheses yet. Anybody? Let's do 3. There we go. Okay, this is the last type of problem that was shown in this assignment. So this is good. I'm glad we've gone through 3 of these. Okay, so I look in front of the parentheses and there isn't like a number in front. There's no fraction. There's no coefficient. There's no plus, and there's nothing after it either. So it's the base of the power of 5 is already isolated. So I can go right into a fifth root on both sides. And that will cancel out the exponent, leaving x plus 10 equals the fifth root of 70. Because 5 is odd, I don't use a plus or minus. One answer. Odd power, one answer. And then I'll go ahead and do the fifth root of 70. It's approximately 2.339. I'm going to store the whole decimal in my calculator. I'm going to use the whole decimal right now. I'm going to hit minus 10. I'm not going to type out 2.339. I want to keep an exact decimal. So subtract 10. And the answer is negative 7.66. One answer for an odd power. All right, we've gone through 3 out of 10 problems for the sophomores that were pulled out to the assembly. Should we do any more? One more request? Which one? Let's do 7. I think we already did 8. Or did we already do 7? Let's do 7. We already did 8. Put a line here. I need to isolate the base and the power. So we'll subtract 36. So x to the 6 equals 64. And I'm going to cancel out the power of 6 doing a 6th root. So I know since this is an even power, I'll use plus and minus. 6th root, 6th root. And I get x equals plus and minus 2. Yeah, good job. And so it says select all that apply, pick the 2 and the negative 2. All right, any more requests on this assignment? We'll go ahead and hit submit and submit it. And I'll remember that 4th period was in an assembly and give you a little grace.